Hello all, and welcome to the zoo.
Why am I here?
Minions of the Zoo is a lovable ragtag group of misfits that sprang up initially as a fan group to Ranting Monkey, Scribe-Light, Some Dumb American, and the joint Lords of the Night livestream show. Late-night discussions in Discord quickly evolved into streams of their own, with each member bringing something new and different to the table for discussion. Led by the incomparable Reject PPC and the One-Ton Hammer, the group rotates hosts known as Zookeepers.
Hello everybody and welcome to Minions of the Zoo. I'm your host for this evening, One-Ton Hammer.
I will be your Zookeeper tonight, Reject.
Alright, and welcome to the zoo. I am the Lucky Pop-Tart Inquisitor.
Sanguine.
Skep Tock.
I'm Prospero.
And I'm Delahazed.
Regular streamers, they're known as minions, and special guests are known as traveling exhibits. They're on a nightly basis, so that each show has something unique and fresh for our audience. Minions of the Zoo currently streams at 10:30 Central Standard, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Let's be xenophobic. It's really in this year. Ugly alien to fear. There's no more cutesy stories about E.T. phoning home. Let's learn to love our neighbors like the Christians learned in Rome. We know we ought to hate them. They're different, you see. We've seen they're mean and ugly on movies and TV. The folks that ought to know have told us how it's got to be. The gospel truth is found in scenes from Alien and V. Let's wipe out any life form that seems to be a threat. We'll serve them up a genocide they never will forget. 'Cause if we miss a couple, they'll breed a couple more. And soon we'll all be hating twice as many as before. You see, aliens can never be as good as humankind. A more delightful race than us you'll never ever find. So step aside, you star slime, we're ready for your worst. We know you want to beat us, enslave us and defeat us, oppress us and browbeat us unless we get you first. And defeat us, oppress us and browbeat us unless we get you first.
There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the zoo. I'm your Zookeeper tonight, Inquisitor. The guests for me tonight are Eeyore.
Good evening, everyone.
And Wond'ring Lisa.
Hey.
And I say, is this the first time you've ever been on Minions, Lisa?
I've been on a few game streams donkeys years ago, but not been on a regular stream before.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it. Yeah, I don't think it was. Yeah, it's definitely time constraints. You being in the UK and all. So thank you all for coming, though. So how was everyone this evening? And so if you notice here, we're calling it the Tandem stream, because both me and Lisa are going to be painting minis. Lisa's also a painter. So yeah, I say enjoy that. So we got 2 ways to watch paint dry.
Yes.
See, I'm working on my boys, and you're working on your piranhas, correct?
Yes, I have 3-toe piranhas in the works, and yeah.
That's good.
For me, it's guns and livery tonight, but I don't have a setup, so...
Yeah, and so that's you've got a computer coming though, right?
I have a computer. I just need a mount for like a camera or something, and then connect it all together.
So I can add another window to the painting stream. That is fully within my powers.
Do you want a shaky ass phone cam and to take up one of my hands, or do you want to wait until I have, at the very least, a phone tripod?
Well, yes, that would be a good thing. Work within your limitations, Eeyore. Anyway.
Last time I did, I think I gave Punisher motion sickness.
Yeah.
Going back to the D&D days, that is.
Yeah. I say, speaking of, I got DM planning to do for the weekend.
Nice.
I've been kind of foisted into the DM role again for a little bit. It's not going to be on stream or anything, but group wanted me to DM a couple of one-shots. So that is what I will do. Fully within my power, of course. But it's all about, getting some time to actually... Oh, hang on. My camera appears to be upside down. You cheeky little bitch. Hang on. Because, my hand is coming in from the top, and it should be coming in from the bottom. My camera.
Yeah, I had that when I was doing my setup, so I had to flip the rotation.
Yep. Just gotta... Where is it? No. No color. Rename. No. Order. Transform. There we go. Rotate 180 degrees. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, everyone. Now we're properly oriented. Oh, I didn't even put on my background music.
A stream without background music? What unprofessional crap is this?
I know, right? I know. God.
Heresy. That is total heresy. Call the chaplain.
Interrogator trap required?
I don't think so.
Blood Angel doesn't recognize your authority, thank you very much. We have our own chaplains.
That's okay. We suspect you're harbouring some of the fallen, so we shall be having words with you shortly.
Oh, God, that would end badly.
Now I'm kind of, tempted to see how well Dark Angel's detachment would do against Blood Angels.
That would be the result.
Unleash the Death Company. It was funny. I was looking through a guy I follow on Twitter. He posts on a blogspot all about his games that he plays with his Cadian Imperial Guard.
Oh, yes.
And, he played a game, 2,000 points, versus a Blood Angel player. And it was odd in the fact that the Blood Angel player only took Primaris in a Redemptor Dreadnought and 2 squads of Intercessors. That's odd now because there are far too many people that want to play Primaris only. And I'm just going to come right out and say it. Primaris suck for the Blood Angels. You want to play Firstborn with your Blood Angels.
Yeah.
Take some Primaris. Like, Assault Intercessors, they're not bad. Regular Intercessors, they're not bad. But dude took 1 squad of Tactical Marines. He took an entire Firstborn Death Company. He took Terminators. And I applaud him. And the Blood Angels player won that game. So, good for him. Because more people need to realize that's how you play Blood Angels now. You don't take full fucking Primaris. You don't do it. Because you will lose.
I do like the model scale with Primaris, but the options that the unit gets are rubbish.
Well, here's the thing, right? Primaris are really kind of designed for Ultramarines. They really are. Now, that isn't to say that armies like the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels can't make use of Primaris units. Let's say Dark Angels Blade Guards are fucking fantastic. You get free, as long as you're in a Deathwing detachment, you get free transhuman physiology with them. Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's fantastic, and they're a Primaris unit. Yeah, I can see that. But people that take entirely all Primaris armies are intentionally cutting off their nose to spite their face. It's dumb. Firstborn are good, especially now that Firstborn have been given a second wound. So, there's no reason anyone's sitting there saying, well, man, Primaris is so much better. They get an extra attack, they get an extra wound, they get better guns. Yeah, but you have to take Hellblasters to get plasma guns. A tactical squad can take a plasma gun and a plasma cannon if they're 10-man.
Yeah, Primaris they're cool, but they're not as versatile as Firstborn. Mm-hmm. Hey, Bridget.
There's also, for me and my Salamanders, can Primaris do a multi-belt dual Devastator squad drop pod?
Nope. I don't even think they can be mounted in drop pods, can they?
Nope.
Yep.
But that is something I honestly want to try. Put 10 Devastators, all multi-belt, into a drop pod and just nuke something with it.
I'll tell you this much. Back in 3rd edition, I used to do a variation on that with my Sisters of Battle. I had a Dominion squad with 4 regular Meltaguns in a Rhino. And I would just have them run across the battlefield and just nuke tanks. Last game I played was at Anime Central against my buddy when he brought his Tau. And second turn, I was able to get close enough to disembark them and destroy his Hammerhead without his Hammerhead doing anything to my army.
Damn.
Which kind of crippled him for the rest of the game, because then my Sisters of Battle were just running over his Fire Warriors with impunity.
Yeah, that tends to happen. And you'll remember months ago when I started those Salamanders, I wanted to be Primaris only.
Yeah, I know you did. And then we sat there and I kept on extolling the virtues of Firstborn, and then you decided, I think Firstborn might not be so bad.
Yeah.
The modularity the options and just the general feel of them are honestly almost better than Primaris.
I was very close to going with Salamanders for my Space Marines, but in the end, the Dark Angels won out.
So I've got a couple of friends. My roommate even is going to want to do Dark Angels at some point. The reason why is because he's got Cypher for his Black Legion. So yeah, he's wanting to field a Fallen army for his Chaos, and then field a Dark Angels army as well. So he's got both sides of the coin.
There's also the fact that Chaos, due to the fact that their kits generally suck right now, for options, I mean.
They're okay. The major problem is that the easiest way to collect Chaos right now is unfortunately not the big bundles, because the start collecting bundle is just it you can buy it once.
It contains 3 exclusive models. They not released alone.
Well, you can buy it once. There's no real point to buying it a second time. Because, I mean, the Master of Possessions is a cool model, and it works for your army, but, you know, are you going to take multiple Masters of Possessions? No, you're not.
Right now, anything I have with Chaos will not even take 1.
Yep.
I need it for the Greater Possessed.
Master Possessions are not bad, especially if you want to take any sorts of demons in your army. The major reason why is because demons don't count towards your detachment limit. So you take a whole bunch of bloodletters and demonettes and all sorts of shit like that. That doesn't count for however many troops choices you can take. You just have to worry about point costs.
If you take them that way, yeah.
Instead of being in an actual demon detachment. Well, I would say there's nothing better than dropping like 20 horrors on your enemy like that. Because like horrors will obliterate things in the shooting phase. Hands down one of the most effective demon units. And you can just, you know, bomb them on someone without any risk of return fire. That's what I've seen tournament players do with demons in a chaos detachment.
I've got to say,
certainly a way to do it.
Yep.
Sorry.
I am really looking forward to seeing what comes out with the TOW Codex, with what they're going to do rules-wise.
Yeah, I can see them adding a few new models. Either that or the big thing that I can see them doing for the TOW is extending the commander limit. Because right now, it's like you're limited to only 1 commander per detachment. So that means that if you take anything other than a patrol, you have to take an ethereal of some kind.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing Farsight
Enclave. Sad Contra Fireblade noises.
Well, the Fireblade's okay, but it's not worth taking, not really.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with the ethereal that I got off eBay. That turned out quite nicely, and it came with a broken stuff, so I was able to repair that to an acceptable degree. And my plastic ethereal I had converted into a Fireblade, so I still had the hoverdrain from that. So I've got an old metal ethereal on plastic hoverdrain now.
Nice. I'll say this: the way the ethereals work in the current TOW Codex, there is a point to them. Unlike back in like 3rd edition when they were absolutely pointless. With current rules for 8th edition, you can get your army to have, you know, feel no pains, which, you know, if you've been paying attention to 9th edition, they've been removing feel no pains wholesale from armies that used to have whole armies dedicated to, or like, you know, sub-factions dedicated to Feel No Pains. And currently, now with, I think it's Aspect of the Earth, is the Ethereal Aura ability. You can give your whole army Feel No Pains.
Nice.
So if you,
6s or 5s?
I think it's 5s actually, but it's only within a certain range of the ethereal.
Yeah, that entire ability is on a 6-inch aura.
It's 6.
Yeah, I think 6-inch aura.
Oh, 6-inch aura. Yeah.
That entire one rule. There's 4 sub abilities.
Yeah, but the best one is the Earth because it gives you Feel No Pains. Everything else is garbage.
I think what I would like to see with Ethereals is for their abilities to work in tandem with the psychic phase, and maybe, as it's not really psychic abilities, or give it something along the lines of they don't get an Abhor the Witch, but Abhor the Witch is less effective against them because they aren't actually psychic in the warp sense.
Well,
you mean on the same lines as what the powers of the Catan are? Not really psychic powers, but they're psychic powers.
Yeah, because I think that would fill a big gap for the Tau having something to do with the psychic phase.
I'd say one thing that I could see maybe happen would be like if they have some sort of warlord trait or a relic that gives them a Deny the Witch. That's what I could see happen.
There's a relic with Farsight, but that's limited to that sub-faction.
And that's a full-on Deny the Witch?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I think it's 1 or 2 use, but like I said, it is very much limited to the Farsight enclaves.
Okay. See, I didn't know
Well,
that.
right now, FFC is pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen a lot of people doing fairly well with battlesuit lists going Farsight.
It's because of the veteran crisis suit cadre requisition stratagem, it would be called now. Basically, 1 unit of X3-8s gets +1 to their ballistic skill, and I think a 2+ save, which just the ballistic skill.
Okay. Well, that ain't bad.
I say that because that's how I intend to field any XV8s I would when I get into the Tau.
I say the Tau are interesting because I kind of like the Tau, but I've never been interested in actually fielding an army of the Tau. I actually do have a couple of Fire Warriors. I actually bought an old pewter Pathfinder with rail rifle back in the day. I have no idea where the fuck he is though. But yeah, I was originally going to do it because I've seen because a buddy of mine has a Tau army. He's not played them since 3rd edition. He completely missed out on 8th playing the Tau at all. I kind of criticize him for that because he decided to go with his Eldar because they were much stronger in 8th edition. And I'm just like, you fair weather fucking 40k player. But this is also the guy that I'm going to get a 9 Inch Nails T-shirt for him for Christmas because he's deciding to shift focus to his Dark Eldar. So I'm
for God's sake!
I'm getting him a 9 Inch Nails T-shirt. So there's a this is for the fact that you're trying to seem like you were edgy the whole time, right? And not just because the Dark Eldar are really good now.
Yeah, the other week I was listening to a a podcast on sort of Tau law, and they were talking about, well, the history of how the Tau became what they are, and with the original Imperial discovery of the Tau home planet, and the Mechanicus actually set up a observation post there, and they were left stranded when the warp storms cut the Tau homeworld off from the Imperium. And during that time, the sort of like things like the Skepticalfa were following their programming, just basically taking members of the Tau population to study and so on, and how that might have actually caused the changes in evolution of the species, that they would most likely be running on daytime cycles. So out of preservation, the Tau would have gone to a more nocturnal life cycle, because, well, you don't want to be out during the day because that's where the monsters are.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And then of course the aircast went to the mountainous regions and so on. And the guy on it theorized that the origin of the ethereals might have actually come from Admech tampering and experimenting with sort of the Tau and so on, because they came out of nowhere. They're very not Tau-like. And I thought that was quite an interesting idea.
There's also another theory about the Dark Eldar doing the exact same thing. Dark Eldar homunculi.
Yeah, so it's basically part of the reason for the potentially for the Tau's accelerated evolution is because of the tampering from outside influences, which I thought was quite interesting.
And all it's done is made them realize the universe is a very harsh and uncaring place.
Yes.
I suppose it would have been better to get them on the path of evolution right now than to have, a marauding band of orcs come to visit their home planet.
That's both the curse and the blessing.
Well, at least with their accelerated evolution, they can defend themselves.
And give the orcs what they need to evolve. They fight.
Yes. Orcs is made for fighting and winning.
Well, if there's anyone that's up for a good scrap with the orcs, it's Commander Farsight.
Yes, as I say, speaking of, Commander Farsight does have a little bit of an orc problem going on right now. So the enclaves are under siege by, oh god, I can't remember the name of the war boss. But yeah, there's a war boss that is coveting the Tau rail technology for himself, and wants to learn its secrets so he can get his mech boys on making those kinds of guns.
But surely all the orcs need to do is to cobble something together that's railgun-ish and believe that it will work like the Tau railguns.
I'd say the problem with the power of the WA is that while it is capable of making technology that would normally not work spontaneously, it requires a lot of orcs to do so. So you need a massive WA to be able to get something like that to happen. I'd say, luckily though, Gazgul seems to be amassing that kind of WA. Ushering in Ragnarok. A time when the universe is completely engulfed in the largest WA ever seen. Speaking of, I really need to get a Gazgul model.
Yes, turn the galaxy into an all-you-can-eat buffet for a certain other Xenos race.
Hey, if the Tyranids want to take part in it, that's perfectly fine. I say it's not like they won Octarius. Oh!
I was about to say a certain Geiger-esque species.
I just love that I can throw that back in the Tyranid player's face. It's not like you won Octarius. Oh. Still remains part of the Orky Empire.
Sneaky Imperium working to get the Orcs and the Tyranids to wipe each other out.
Mm-hmm. And it would have done too if it weren't for the fact that Gazgul suddenly showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah. And now we have all these extra Orcs right on the Imperium's doorstep. Just go into the warp and kill one of the Chaos Gods. Don't kill the Imperium.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, that would be the ultimate fight. Gazgul takes down Khorne.
I would love to see. Well, no, it would be Gork and Mork taking down Khorne. But no, I would love to see like a sort of thing like the End Times happen in Age of Sigmar. Only it's 40k. Like the Emperor comes back off the throne and is like walking amongst men once again, and like Gork and Mork show up out of nowhere, punch the Emperor in the face, and then say Orcs is the best and run off. Because that's essentially what happened in Fantasy. Is that Sigmar showed up, started wrecking face, and then was like getting ready to beat one of the Chaos Gods. I think it was Slaanesh. And Gork and Mork show up, punch Sigmar in the face, like knock him over to the ground, allowing Chaos to overrun the mortal realms, and then say Orcs is the best, and then they run off.
I have to say, I do like that they've actually started moving the story forward with 40k, because for so long it was just static, and the Imperium just never actually sort of changed.
Yeah, I think
the story
that's
just never moved forward.
That's a little bit of a double-edged sword, because at the same time you've got to worry about, you know, continuity and making sure everything is properly set up and paid off, which sometimes they've handled okay, so other times they have not. I say all I gotta say is, you know, look at the really, really bad story of the End Times for Fantasy. But by way of comparison, I think they're doing a fairly good job with 40k. They're advancing the story without like advancing it too much. Yeah, that's another thing that Dan Abnett once said. He said that 40k, you know, you need to leave like stuff open so that the universe can continue, because you can't have an End Times in 40k. 40k needs to teeter on the balance of total ruination, but never fully goes that way. And so that's the real challenge about writing stories for Warhammer.
So, no great Arthurian crusade?
Well, no bringing the Emperor back from death, essentially.
Though at the same time, recent events have actually signaled which Chaos God is the weakest. That being Nurgle.
Well, I mean...
He got his bitch slapped to the fact that he was actually wounded and had to run back to his Eldar God waifu.
Well, to be fair, he has...
From the presence of the Emperor himself.
He has an Eldar Goddess waifu who heals him. So...
Yes, I am quite aware that he has an Eldar Goddess waifu. one of the 3 Eldar gods to actually survive Slaanesh in one way, shape, or form. One of the 2 to survive intact.
Yeah. Because Cain certainly didn't survive intact.
Yo, he got shattered up.
But yes.
And the only other one is, well, Laugh Man.
Oh yeah. The goddess that we're talking about, by the way, is Isha.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the big cataclysmic event when the Chaos Gods kind of invaded into the mortal realms because the old ones decided to tap into the power of the warp, and in their greed and arrogance to defeat the Catan, kind of created the Chaos Gods. One of the very first things the Chaos Gods did was isolate and remove the Eldar gods from the table. And one of them was the goddess Isha, which was, I think, the god of life?
Life, growth,
Yeah.
maybe fertility.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think Gaia, pretty much.
Yeah. And what they did is Nurgle has her in the Garden of Nurgle, constantly being decayed, rotten, and killed, and her being, by virtue, the goddess of life and renewal, is constantly replenished, only to die and decay the next day. It's a horrible, depressing cycle for her.
Oh, yes.
In between sessions of being Nurgle's test puppet for any new virulence that he comes up with.
To be fair, that's probably the most active a Chaos God is, because Khorne is perfectly fine to just sit back and apply his power, but never actually do anything.
Yeah, until, as I said, Gork and Mork show up. Well, I said Gazgul earlier, but...
I'd love to see Gork and Mork just slap around Khorne. That would be awesome.
Hey, if all 4 Chaos Gods met their end in battle, it would definitely be Gork and Mork who take down Khorne.
Oh, yeah.
You need for Slaanesh, the Emperor for Nurgle, because they now got serious history. And that leaves just Sinch.
I can see
Who planned the entire thing the entire time.
Oh yeah,
just
to eliminate.
Just to get rid of the other 3.
Yep. I could see Chagorath coming in
after Zinch.
Yep. You got to remember, Chagorath hates all of the Chaos Gods. The Harlequins, their sole existence is to fight chaos.
I have to say, I don't actually know a lot about the Eldar lore. Sorry, Eldari.
Well, that's fine. I call them. I call them by their old name. Same with the Imperial Guard. Astromilla, what now? You're in the Guard, son. But yeah, the Eldar lore is really interesting. But at the same time, when I listen to the Horus Heresy books, because I've been slowly and steadily listening to the entire library on Audible. The Eldar come across as like these arrogant assholes that think they know everything, but fucked up the universe way worse than everyone else, but then like say that humans don't deserve a chance to fix the universe, and that the birthright of the Eldar should, that the universe is rightfully theirs, so humans and humanity need to be wiped out. And the worst part about it is that the fucking Alpha Legion bought it. That's why the Alpha Legion turned to chaos, is because the Eldar convinced them that that humanity doesn't deserve to exist.
Or did they?
Yeah. Well, yeah. in as much as that you can say anything about the Alpha Legion, all we know is that 100% I will brook no other matter on this. Alfarius is dead. Fucking Rogel Dorn killed him. Ran him through with his own spear. He's dead.
Again, I will say this constantly. You can never be sure of anything with the Alpha Legion. Never.
Rogel Dorn.
Never.
Was it Alfarius or was it Omegon?
Well, Omegon definitely survived. I mean, he's making YouTube videos.
Yeah. And very good YouTube videos they are. I watch him often.
Speaking of, we should try to get him on one of these nights.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because I know he loves 40k. I mean, that's where he got his name. So
I've never actually talked to him like voice to voice before, so that'd be really cool to actually be able to shoot the shit with him.
Yeah, I think I've only talked to him once, but yeah, he's a cool guy. I like Omegon.
Of course. No bullshit with him.
Nope.
And I am really looking into Necrons now, just because some of my favorite units come up.
Necrons are cool, but again, they occupy the same space for me as the Tau. I think they're really cool. I like their designs. I think it would be cool and fun to paint them, but I don't think I would ever do a whole army of them. But then again, I said that about the orcs, and what the fuck am I painting right now?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of armies that I would like to dabble with that I would probably do kill teams of.
There you go.
It would be a good way to get a taster.
Well, to be fair, the new kill team is radically different than old kill team, which was basically just 40k light.
Yeah.
I don't even, I've got the books for the Octarius, box set, and I've not even delved into it yet.
Yeah.
It's like Age of Sigmar to me. It's familiar and alien all at the same time.
I honestly found, when looking into Age of Sigmar, because I got it on about a week-long Seraphon binge, Age of Sigmar just feels like 8th edition of 40k.
Well, the major thing that was fucking me up with Age of Sigmar was the whole, what's the name of it? Battle Tome Detachment or something like that? It's the one where you get extra rules if you take specific units.
Yep.
But then it was all like, are you limiting yourself in that army selection only to take those specific units in the Battle Tome Detachment? Or, what's the limitation and where does it end? Because in 40k, you can soup to your heart's content so long as you've got one keyword in common.
As far as stooping is concerned, I think each faction has an allied list, and you can spend so many points on your allies.
Yeah, like I know Soulblight Gravelords have the Night Haunt as their allies.
And Seraphon can take Stormcast with them.
Really? Oh, they're part of Order?
Yeah. They are part of Order.
Wow, okay. Weird.
They can take Cities of Sigmar or Stormcast as allies.
Huh.
I have to say, with Age of Sigmar, one thing that I found disappointing that would have had me interested in making an army was the lack of the Tomb Kings of Khemri making an appearance.
Me too. The fantasy armies that I wanted to play the most back in the day was Bretonnia and Tomb Kings. But I will say this, the new vampires for Age of Sigmar, the Soulblight Gravelords, they look so fucking cool.
Yeah.
So because of that, I went for, I've got a box of Blood Knights over there that are kind of sitting and wasting away a little bit, but I will get to them eventually.
Yeah, there are some of, I think, some of the models in Soulblight Gravelords and in the Lizardmen as well that would make good donor models for making more interesting fruit.
I was thinking you were going to say something like Exodite Eldar.
I want my Alpha and Dragon, thank you.
Well, I mean, you can do things like counts as, whatever, but unfortunately they don't have rules.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one of the Gravelord kits. I can't. It's the really big, sort of like zombie-like things, but with a bit of modification and either a bit of green stuff work for the head or a 3D printed head. They make for good sort of counts as crew Tocks. Okay. So basically, these great big hulking Kroot with a massive gun on one arm.
I was thinking you'd go with the zombie dragon and turn into a great Narlock. The only problem is the great Narlock can't fly, so you'd have to clip the wings.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually seen someone do a great Narlock counts as using a T-Rex dinosaur toy.
I mean, that's the way to do it.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
But again, for that sort of thing, the Seraphon, the lizard men, would be ideal for donors for that sort of thing.
Oh yeah. That's already set to proper, 28mm scale. So. I saw a place that was selling it's not the gargantuan version, but a regular squig off for like $30 because it was a cheeky breaky recaster, and I was sorely tempted because I really want to get a squig off eventually. I think that'd be fun. I mean, it doesn't really fit my Evil Sons army, but I don't care because it's a squig off.
Squigoths. They're better in snake bites.
Well, they are. I won't deny that. Like I said, it doesn't really fit my Evil Sons, but you know what? I don't care. It's a squig-off. And with the fact that I paint like all of my squigs pink, I think it'd be kind of fun to paint it pink.
You paint them pink?
Oh yes, I do. All of my squigs. Well, except for my attack squig for my war boss, because what I did is I clipped off the. Okay, here. Wait, is he not out? Shit, he's not. Fuck. I was gonna show. Okay, so what I did is I've got several grots, as you can tell right here. Each grot kit comes with a runt herd. One of the bits for the runt herd is a squig hound, where he's like holding on to the squig hound. For the regular squig hound, for one of my runt herds that has a squig hound, I painted the squig hound pink. But I decided I wanted to maybe have the option of taking an attack squig on my war boss. So I cut out the hand that's holding the hair of the squig hound, and then filled it in with green stuff, and then like striated it to make it look like hair. So I basically just filled in the gap between where his hand was. And I painted him white and sandy color, because that's the way my dog's fur is. So I made a little Jake for my war boss.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Speaking of, he's currently curled up on my bed and just, not even looking at me right now. You're giving me attention. I'm gonna look at you.
I miss having dogs. Or any kind of pet, really.
Yeah.
Proud cat person.
The most I've got at the moment is ant colony.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, your Twitter profile says that. You've got an ant collector.
Yes, my colony's doing quite well at the moment. She's up to about 21 workers. So by the time she goes into hibernation at the end of November, she should, touch wood, be around 30 odd workers. So when she comes out of hibernation in February, should be ready to move her into a proper nest.
Nice. Let's say, what's the lifespan on a queen?
It can vary depending, well...
Species being the biggest thing.
Yeah, species and environment and so on, but anything from, I guess, around 5 years, give or take.
Oh, wow, okay.
So they can live a long time. But
Trains on time.
the knowledge on ant species is very new, relatively speaking, so there's only so much that is actually known. Because it used to be people were more interested in exterminating them than studying them.
Yeah. Well, when they get in when they shouldn't, they kind of can become a pest.
Yeah, the ones on keeping are carpenter ants.
Oh, nice. Okay. I saw a video a little while ago of a guy who was keeping fire ants, and he had to keep modifying their enclosure because they kept on finding ways of escaping.
Oh, they are very, very good at finding ways to get out.
I'm speaking mostly from my apicultural knowledge, but nests self-regulate when a queen goes, just like bees.
Yeah, sadly, most ant nests, when the queen dies, that's basically it for the colony.
Oh.
Because most won't take a new queen, and they will, when nuptial season comes along, they'll sort of produce their winged males and females that will basically fly off, mate, and then they'll squirrel themselves away to found a new colony. But there are some species that are polygynous, so they will take can have more than one queen, and there's other ones that have Gamergates, which has always amused me because it's spelt exactly the same as Gamergate. And these are basically regular workers that basically develop as breeding, so like stock for the colony. And when one of them develops like this, they'll go around basically aggressively neutering any rivals.
So it's completely different from bees. They don't create new queen larvae.
No.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, there's.
Well, I think they do, but the whole goal is to spread out and
they
develop new.
Yeah, they do, but they don't sort of produce it in colony.
Yeah.
But there is one quote that I came across ages ago that I just think is brilliant. Let's see if I can find it. Documents. Yeah. The foreign policy of ants can be summed up as follows: restless aggression, territorial conquest, and genocidal annihilation of neighbouring colonies, wherever possible. If ants had nuclear weapons, they would probably end the world in a week.
Yep.
By Edward O. Wilson, a Harvard biologist. And that's just always stuck with me. I think it's brilliant, and quite frankly, it sums up the Tyranids quite nicely.
Yeah, right. But I don't think the Tyranids would abandon the hive if a Norn Queen dies.
Oh, no.
They got the Hydra effect for that.
Yeah, they'd just spawn a new Norn Queen eventually. So long as they have enough biomass.
Yes, also there's the psychic backlash from a Norn Queen dying.
You know, apparently, oh god, what's his name? Captain Badrook of the Freebooters. Apparently, one of his conquests on record is he killed a Norn Queen in single combat.
Oh.
Okay. The Norn Queens, despite their reputation, are just sort of massive zoanthropes, effectively.
Uh-huh.
Killing them in single combat isn't a big deal. Yeah, getting to them is.
I was gonna say, yeah, it is. Because you have to fight through the hive to get to it. And you think that the Tyranids aren't going to protect their Norn Queen?
They will protect it to their last dying breath. And in many bioforms' case, after.
Mm.
But I was saying, the Norn Queen itself isn't the legendary story. It's getting to it.
It's also a massively powerful psyker as well. So, don't count it out entirely just because, you know.
It's effectively a giant slug.
A big brain bug, yeah.
Big brain bug that can blow your head up just with a thought.
Uh-huh. I love Captain Badrook's story about how he got his gun. He calls it Darippa. It's an Ogren Ripper gun.
Oh, right.
But he modified it to fire plasma flasks as bullets.
Oh, God.
Rebooters!
Oh, God. Leave it to an orc.
And not only that, in his he has to wear a lead-lined overcoat because in the presence of Darippa, you get radiation sickness.
I don't think orc biology would care too much.
Well, it all depends on how tough you are. I'm sure the knobs that surround Captain Badrook are sufficiently learned enough to wear lead, or are sufficiently okay with the radiation count.
Orcs learned?
They can be. Remember, Mork is brutal but cunning. Or no, cunning but brutal. One of them.
Or was it the other way around?
Yeah.
That is, if I remember right, actually part of orc scripture. They don't quite remember which is which.
Well, that was in the audio drama I played for you. Grimguts here is only the biggest pain in the hurty bits since Gork hit Mork in the face and made all of everything out of his dislodged tooth. Oh, wait a minute. It was the other way around. What do you want, you big moon git? I'm not gonna lie, man. That audio drama is partly the reason why I'm playing Evil Sons.
Which audio drama is it?
That would be Prophets of Wa.
Yeah.
I love it. Guy Haley really outdid himself. I love it. Guy Haley is one of my top 3 favorite Black Library authors.
Speaking of audio dramas, have you listened to The Infinite and the Divine?
Not yet. That's
It's so good.
on my radar, but I've not listened to it yet.
The trails of Orokin and Trazyn are brilliant.
I have a grudge against Trazyn,
Lovely.
so
Of course you have a grudge against Trazyn. Everyone has a grudge against Trazyn because he's stolen from everyone.
well, it's funny. He's not stolen from the Salamanders. The Salamanders have successfully kicked him in the balls twice.
Yes.
He has tried to steal the Hammer of Vulcan from Prometheus twice. Full-scale invasion of Prometheus twice.
I thought it was the spear.
No, it was a hammer. It's his forge hammer. That's what he's trying to steal. And both times, fucking Vulcan Heston outsmarted him and beat him in single combat.
With said hammer or with the spear?
No, just with his fucking regular forge hammer. Because he's essentially a chaplain captain sort of thing. He's like a hybrid.
Yeah, and currently Trazyn in his vaults has Castellan Creed.
He has a lot of stuff.
Mm.
He has a full Tyranid high fleet. He's got...
During the
five regiments of Catachan.
During the fall of Cadia, after Castellan Creed had lost his arm, Trazyn came along and scooped him up in one of his thingamajiggeries.
Pokeballs? I joke.
Alright. I can't remember the name of things. Those little storage devices he has. I can't for the life of me remember what they're called though. But he did take him right after he worked with Belisarius Call to get the Black Pylons online.
That's funny. New Cadia. I can't remember what the planet used to be called. It used to be a Forge world, but it was completely decimated by the Black Legion. But New Cadia actually does have one of the Black Pylons. It's serving as a war memorial.
And what would the Ordo Xenos think if they're using a Xenos technological artifact as a war memorial?
It's not activated, obviously.
Yeah, it would.
It's Xenos heretic.
Yeah, if they were to actually activate that, I think it would do a lot of damage to the regular human population around.
Well, all of them were activated on Cadia. That was holding back the Eye of Terror.
Yeah. But because of the effect of the Blackstone pylons, it does actually have a serious detrimental effect to non-Necron life forms.
Yeah, that's part of what Cesaric is trying to find all of them and get them back online. Number one, to recontain the Eye of Terror.
Yeah, it's why it works against Chaos.
Yeah, it's the anathema of the warp. Yeah.
That's quite like in Sigma how the Chaos Gods they don't have quite the same flavour as 40k, and they seem to be very much. It's like deities of natural forces that have just kind of gone out of control.
Yeah, I say that's why what I always compare them to whenever I'm talking about the difference between the Chaos Gods and Sigmar versus 40k is that in Sigmar they're like sword and sorcery gods. In 40k, they're cosmic entities like Cthulhu and Yog-Sothoth.
That can't be killed not but by another of their kind. And even then,
I used to like the story of the Eldar D cannon and what it can do to the Catan. Because back in 3rd edition, the only way, because when a Catan dies in 3rd edition, you would place the ordnance template over the center of their base, and that would be a strength 10 hit for all models that were around the ordnance template. By the way, the size of an ordnance template is the size of like a CD. So it's a huge area. The reason why is because it's their necrodermis exploding when the Catan phases out of their body. I think they've removed that now in 8th and 9th, since they've completely rewritten the story for the Necrons. But in the old lore, the only way to kill a Necron or kill a Catan entirely, like to eliminate them entirely, was to fire a D cannon, an Eldar D cannon at them. D cannon stands for Distort Cannon.
Yep.
Essentially, what the Distort Cannon fires is a black hole that leads directly into the warp. So they would fire this, basically a dimension into the warp at a Catan, and the warp is an absolute anathema to a Catan. So as soon as it gets sucked into the warp, it ceases to be. Period. And that was the old lore, though. I'm not sure if that's all still the same. But then again, now it doesn't really matter all that much, because now the Catan are shards of the Catan.
Yeah. They have done a lot of retconning.
In my opinion, that's probably the best thing about the new edition is, new lore is the retconning of a lot of the Necron lore. I like the changes they made to the Necrons.
made them feel a little bit sympathetic.
Made the Necrons have actual character, because otherwise the only things that were thinking rational beings were the Catan under the old lore. So yeah, I like the changes.
Yeah, because the Necron essentially started out as a Terminator ripoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Games Workshop would never rip off IP.
Well, my favorite bit about all of that, because the Necrons came out originally, the Necron Codex, because we gotta, we'd be remiss to say that the Necrons didn't exist before 3rd edition, because they did back in Rogue Trader. But they didn't get a Codex proper until 3rd edition. And it's funny because the only other faction to be absolutely 100% created in 3rd edition was the TUES.
Mm-hmm.
And this was coming around the same time that Games Workshop was in a litigation against Blizzard Entertainment. And the litigation was over the race of the Protoss in StarCraft. And the reason why is because the Protoss story is essentially a ripoff of the Eldar. Well, Games Workshop decided, we lost this this lawsuit against you for infringing on our IP. That's fine. We'll just take all of the inspiration that you guys took for the Protoss and the story for the Protoss and make it the TUES.
Mm-hmm. Of course, when the TUES were designed, that was when there's big mecha anime booms.
Mm-hmm.
So they also tried to, I would argue, successfully cash in on that.
Yeah, I would say that too. Yeah.
I initially started getting my toe back in 3rd edition, and I was really into my anime at the time.
Yeah.
Well, TUES are, from my point of view, my favorite And I will make the caveat for Eldar players. Xenos race.
Orcs. Orcs! All day, every day. They're the best Xenos.
I just wish...
They're not even intelligent. They're basically...
Mad Max, buddy!
They're sentient mushrooms.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the reason why they're impossible to get rid of. Because, you know, have you ever tried to rid your garden of fungus?
I presume it takes a flamethrower.
Well, yeah.
Mycelia get really down into the ground. It's very, very difficult.
There's a reason why fungi can survive without any of the things that would require any other plant to survive. They don't need sunlight. They don't need, you know, they just need moisture. Moisture and nutrients.
Yeah, I have to say, I would like to see the Kroot get their own codex. I think there's a lot of potential there. But
I'd want to see a Tau Auxiliaries codex. That would be more likely.
Yes, that would be good. But orcs do stray very much into Orky territory.
I could see the Kroot getting their own codex and having just a universal keyword that allows literally anyone to side with them. Because the Kroot, remember, they're mercenaries. They don't join the Tau because they believe in the greater good. The Tau are paying them.
I thought that was actually some complex watercast deal.
Well, it's what it is that there's certain Kroot that have kind of signed on to the greater good, or rather the Tau Empire, simply because of proximity of their planet. The Kroot home planet is within the Empire, but the Kroot have negotiated autonomy, and the Kroot are mercenaries. They've been known to fight with anyone, including the Imperium, so long as they're paid.
Now that brings the next question. In what current state?
Usually, I think, like, supplies mainly. They're a nomadic species and don't usually set up, like, roots anywhere. So, like, they'll help out in Agra World against, like, an orc invasion, you know, aiding the PDF, for, you know, some food stores or something.
Yes, and I wouldn't want to be the planetary governor that sorted out that deal when the Inquisitors come asking. Because that is negotiated with a Xenos.
It all depends. So I find that the Xenos tend to be the most lenient of Inquisitors.
Well, with the Tau, the Gravasa, the human auxiliaries of the Tau, one of the major sort of characters amongst that part of the Tau Empire is an ex-Inquisitor.
I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah. Going Xeno. What I am kind of shocked about is that they haven't hired a Vindicare. He hasn't had an Exodus round put squarely between the eyes.
Probably because he's too small to matter.
Yeah. The Imperium has a lot to deal with. The Tower allowed to run a little roughshod over the Damocles Gulf simply because the Imperium
There's
has a
much
lot of
bigger
other shit to deal with.
I mean, Gascruel, Leviathan, the Cicatrix Maledictum.
The Necrons. That was where they first showed up, was the Damocles Gulf.
It will be interesting to see how the story develops with the Chalnath stuff. with the Tau pushing into there and the sisters pushing back.
Oh yeah. Well, say it all depends on whether or not the Tau try to take a shrine world. That's when the Sisterhood will get a little irate.
Irate sisters? That doesn't sound like a good idea.
No, it doesn't. Especially if they're Bloody Rose.
But yeah, with new Tau offerings, I know there's with Kill Team you got the upgrade to the Pathfinder sprue, and we've got a plastic Dark Strider on the way. But I really do hope that
there's more than that.
Yeah, I would want a bit more than that for a release, because the Tau do need a better way to contest sort of control points.
Yeah, because unfortunately right now it's only breacher teams and strike teams are the only troop choices you get.
And crew.
Strike and basic carnivals.
Well, Kroot can do it. The problem is that I think Kroot are just a little too expensive for how expendable they are.
But I think certainly a way to give OBSEC to crisis suits, I think that would be a very effective way of contesting these points.
Yeah, I'll say do that, or allow Pathfinders or stealth suits.
Yes.
That way you can definitely see some more stealth suits being used, because right now no one takes stealth suits.
95s to 25s.
Yeah, because the strength of the Tau in 40k have always been in more shooting sort of focused games, and when the in 9th they moved things over to more sort of taking and controlling points on the board, that is just antithetical towards the Tau's actual playstyle.
Well, the problem is that the Tau are really, really good gunline armies.
Yeah.
But a gunline doesn't advance up and take any control points. So then you're just left sitting there going like, I really wish I had an objective marker in my deployment zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's really the major problem. In my opinion, the biggest thing that would help the Tau is having those advanced units, the units that can actually move and be effective. Things like, stealth suits and Pathfinders and so on and so forth. Have them get OPSEC. Maybe have it be like a stratagem, like a pre-game stratagem, a requisition stratagem, or something like that. But yeah, or even better yet, have it be a little bit like freebooters for orcs, where you can nominate units to get OPSEC. And the thing about it is that sort of thing is possible. The Dark Angels make heavy use of that kind of stuff, doing a lot of board control with their stratagems and their army abilities. So I would not at all be surprised if that sort of thing didn't happen for the Tau. So you can take your strike teams, your breacher teams as gun lines, and then have your advance units go and do the actual objective work.
Yeah.
So then if the enemy wants to, take like assassin or something, or assassinate or something like that, if you've got a lot of characters, they're going to need to get through your gun line, because you're not going to put your gun line, you're not going to put your characters out in front or taking objectives or anything like that. So you have to get through your gun line to get your characters, and it's like, is that worth the risk? So
I think what you've been saying the other day about leapfrogging units and stuff does sound like a very good way of mitigating some of the drawbacks, but that does mean that you have to deploy a lot more resources to actually hold one of these points than other armies. And that's a major drawback.
I'd say the major thing that you can do, though, now learning that Kroot are one of the things that are in troops, you could take some Kroot as your, forward objective holders.
Mm.
You take your gun line, just take like maybe 1 or 2 strike teams or something like that. Create your gun line that way, and then slowly and steadily move the gun line forward if the battle's going well, or leapfrog them backward if you're going up against a melee army that has crossed into your territory rather quickly. And then have all of your other units, like your stealth suits, your crisis suits, Cold Star, all stuff like that, going and putting in the work forward advance, but not, doing like your secondary objectives. But your primary objectives basically being held by the strike teams, breacher teams, and the crew. And that would be either a static or, slowly advancing gun line.
Yeah. Unfortunately, one of the changes in 9th edition that happened when all of the keyword changes happened with the Tau Empire is they've got, I think the keyword is greater good that works through all of the Tau units, but that doesn't work with the auxiliaries.
Yeah, like with the...
So these nice army-wide buffs that you get for the Tau doesn't work for Kroot, doesn't work for Vespid.
Yeah. I'd say it's the same sort of thing with the orcs too. Gretchen don't get clan cultures. So yeah, it's just something you got to deal with.
Yeah.
There's still use for them. Like I use my grots as rear echelon.
Mm. But given the amount
of them and keep them in the back.
Yeah. But given the amount of Kroot you can actually have in one unit of them, that's actually quite useful.
I say there's a reason why I took this squad right here that I'm painting. Numbers in the 30 boy range. Mm. Mainly because when I charge into close combat, I get 120 attacks.
That's too many dice.
What's even better is that normally orc ballistic skill, I'm only hitting on 5s. In close combat, I hit on 3s. And I have AP -1 with Choppas.
Mm-hmm. Add in a war boss or a knob with wall bannering, you get hits on 2s.
Yep. I say the war boss can also increase the AP if he declares a WA.
Oh, and here's a thing I realized about the knob.
Huh.
I believe it just says orcs. Not core, not clan specific.
Regular knobs?
Knob with WA.
Oh, knob with WA banner.
Or it might just be clan orc.
Let me see.
Not clan core orc, just clan orc.
Yeah, Kroot are limited to 20 models in a unit.
Okay, so knob with WA banner has clan, character, infantry, and knob. Knobs get clan and core. So knob with WA banner doesn't have core, but knobs have core, and they both have the clan.
I meant on that banner buff, the WA banner.
The WA banner, friendly clan orcs unit within 6 inches of this model. Unit adds 1 to the hit roll. So anything from the clan, from the same clan.
Which is very good for certain things that don't have core.
For, well, no, I don't think the, hold on, knob with WA banner.
Gonna use Waha?
Yeah. Oh no, the WA banner does not require core. Just friendly clan orcs within 6 inches of this model. So it's
Snake bites Gorkanauts. Let's go.
Yep. Let's say Gorkanauts, fucking Killrig, All of them, yeah. But it's only the melee attack that gets +1.
That's all I need it for. Do you know how much damage that claw orc
Well,
possibly
let's put
more?
it this way, right? Okay, you looking at the stream? How about these guys?
I'm not looking at the stream, but I'm assuming it's a bunch of boys.
A bunch of knobs with power claws. Getting +1. That means I'm hitting on 3s. I got a -1, but I get a +1. So I'm hitting on 3s with power claws. You know, strength 10.
Good bit of AP.
AP
And then
lots.
it's what? Save or Dead Marine?
Yeah, because it's damage too per power claw. So it's I think either a 5 or a 6+ save, or Dead Marine.
Sad Marine player. Especially with the amount of attacks a knob can put out.
Oh yeah. I say I'm planning on getting 2 more knobs so that way I can field a at least 5-man knob squad. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 5 knobs and 5 flash kits and put them in my battle wagon. So that way the battle wagon will remain open topped and the flash kits can shoot outside of it. And then the knobs can pile out and rip things apart with the power claws.
And for those who don't know what Chris is talking about, it's not what you think.
What?
What?
Knobs.
Oh no. I say, I know that means something different to you Brits. I'm not talking about a penis.
No, we're talking about the Orc Noble class.
Noble. AKA the big orcs. They's just big.
The stompiest.
The biggest and the baddest.
Oh, that reminds me. Have you ever seen Adeptus Ridiculous' I'm a Tank?
Oh yeah. I saw it a while ago, yeah.
I love that.
I say I found out about Adeptus Ridiculous after I had already discovered oh god, what's the name of their actual battle report channel? Fuck.
Dice Check?
Is it Dice? Yeah, it's Dice Check, isn't it? Yeah. Because like I watched several of their battle reports, and then I found out that Bricky did Adeptus Ridiculous, and I'm all like, oh, okay.
I love Adeptus Ridiculous. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool show. I like them.
They just get so random.
It's fun to just, shoot the shit. And, it reminds me of our Tuesday Warhammer nights that my friends and I went to back at the mall when we were first really getting into Warhammer. That's where I met a lot of my friends that I still, hang out with today. But we would just, sit around, we'd play a couple games, and then for till the store closed, we would just shoot the shit, crack jokes about Warhammer and shit like that. I'm sure we were quite a sight to all the people coming into the Game store. Just these weirdos in the back talking Warhammer all night. It was fun. We had a lot of fun with it.
I wish I had that sort of thing at my LGS, but unfortunately all it has is card floppers.
Yeah, I know. I would say that's all of the places in the town that I live, all of the game stores, and I'm saying that with massive sarcasm quotes, all they have are
magic stores.
Yeah, they're overblown magic stores. They say that they're tabletop, but they don't sell D&D. They don't sell board games. Well, they have a pittance of board games, like a couple. They have Settlers of Catan and stuff like that, but no real board games. And 90% of their stock is just Magic.
Yeah, the local games club that I found near me, it's predominantly Magic players.
Fucking card floppers.
I mean, I'd have to go back down into the city to find a GW store.
Yeah. I'll say, luckily we have a GW store in town now. One just moved in like I think a year ago now. And then we have a general all-purpose actual game store that's not just card flopping, but that one's like an hour away.
Yeah, I've got a couple of local game stores that are quite good. There's one of them where I live, a shop called Dark Hammer, actually sells Games Workshop at a substantial discount.
Oh, nice.
And most of it's usually around the 20% mark off the actual recommended retail price.
And is it because you live in Britain and they don't have to, import or any of that kind of stuff, or because?
I think they do that.
Distributor deals typically are the source of that.
Yeah. I think regular Games Workshop pricing takes into account the sort of price those sort of stores do.
Okay.
So they probably sort of go at inflated prices because the sort of independent stores do sell at a reduced price.
Okay. Oh shit. God damn it. I hate that about trying to paint metallics. Going over certain bits and having to fucking repaint.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's great getting models second-hand off eBay, but when it's a multi-option kit, you are very much limited to what the original owner built them as, unless you take the time to actually kit bash the other options.
Yeah, I say the one thing that I found that was an amazing find because of the price, but a little bad because the person that made them was a really, really shitty modeler. No offense, whoever you are, if you live in the Chicagoland area and you sold your model secondhand, but you sucked at putting these together. There was a guy that sold a whole bunch of models to a half-price books, weirdly enough, and I found a whole bunch of them and I bought them because they were like pennies on the dollar. I found an Iron Strider for the AdMech. They were only selling it for $10.
Wow.
So yeah, I picked that up and I gave it to my buddy SCP. And then it was around Christmas time, so there was one thing they were selling. They were selling a, what was it? Dark Eldar Razor Wing Fighter. I bought that and gave it to my Dark Eldar buddy for Christmas, and I think they were selling it for $20.
Wow.
And it's, I think, an $85 kit standard. Whatever it was really expensive. Like I said, I saw that and I was all like, hey, you don't have a Razor Wing, do you? And he goes, no, why? And I go, no reason. Yeah, but I think that was like a one and done. Or no. Same place I went back later and I found a Dark Eldar Ravager for I think they were selling it for $40. And that one was completely unbuilt. It was still in sprue. And I picked that up from my Dark Eldar buddy, and he can, he paid me back for it.
Nice. Yeah, when I first set out repainting my original TOW models, I was a bit shocked at how little effort I actually put in cleaning up the models originally.
Yeah. I say I've gone and done that too. I've gone back and repainted a couple of my Blood Angels, and I was all like, holy shit, I was such a fucking shitty modeler when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I was shocked at how, like, I didn't clean mold lines. I didn't do any of that kind of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly found that when I was painting up my Vespid. I found a lot of bits of sort of like metal moulding bits and pieces.
Oh, like flash?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I found a couple of those when I was going back and repainting my Death Company. Because I've got 9 Death Company and pewter.
I have to say there is something for sourcing the old pewter and other white metal models. There's something good about the weight of them.
Yeah, that's very true. I'll say I've got a 2 pewter dreadnoughts over here that I'm going to be painting as Death Company dreadnoughts. My Captain Smashfucker I showed you before the stream, he's metal. I've got a lot of metal minis. Even one of my orcs is metal. My war boss is metal. So I do recommend, if you can get your hands on a metal mini, definitely get metal over fucking resin.
Oh god, yeah, the fail cast.
Yep. And I say I've got so many Eldar Rangers that came broken. Oh my god. Don't
Yeah,
even
you said that having to push mold replacement weapons.
Yeah, the barrels on them. Yeah. Yep. Hate that shit.
Yeah, mine.
That explains why I see so many Ranger rifle barrels on third-party casters.
Yeah, I'm not shocked.
Yeah, this is my last metal model that I got my ethereal.
Oh. I'll say, yeah, here, give me a sec. I'll get out my my war boss. That's the metal orc I've got.
Yeah.
I'll say
Yeah.
The weird boy is fucking resin, so.
Yeah, so when I got this, the top staff was broken off, so I wound up whittling down one end of the broken staff a bit and drilling a hole into the handle to super glue it, and it turned out to be quite strong.
Oh yeah. Well, it's kind of funny actually. Here, I'll shut it off a little bit. You've got the stream open, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my war boss. He is actually metal, except for his choppa arm. His big choppa arm. That is a knob, regular boy knob, big choppa arm, and you can tell it's not the original because his shoot arm is much bigger than his choppa arm. He just works out his right arm, and he's got a manlet left arm. He doesn't lift with that one very often. So that's my pewter model. The only pewter model I have for my orcs. But yeah, this is the pewter war boss.
What is orc for? Do you even lift, bro?
Do you even lift, bruh? Bruv. So this is my weird boy. And I painted him on stream. I took a lot of time on him. He's one of my big pride and joy minis, but he's resin, unfortunately. You remember how I put 4 pins in the Big Mech with custom force field last week? This guy has a pin right here in his staff. I took it intentionally and clipped off the staff, and then put a pin down in the staff and put a pin in his hand, so that way this thing ain't breaking unless you're trying to break it. So he's got a pin between this part and this part of the tire. He's got a pin down in each of the Grot's hands, linking them to the chain. There's a pin from the chain into his back, and then there's a pin in each of his feet going down into the base.
All right.
So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins. Yeah, this model won't break unless you're trying to break him. Which is good because he's resin and it's really easy to break resin.
Which means at the point that someone's trying to break it, you've already cracked their skull in with a dreadnought and a sock.
Yeah. Of which I have several. I mean, I can place 3 dreadnoughts and 3 pewter dreadnoughts on a sock and brain you to death with them. And one of which even has spiky bits. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, spiky bits. Yeah.
Yeah, as much as I like some of the old metal models, they could be very flat in their how they assemble.
That and they tend to be either really weird monopose, like the old Battle Sisters. Don't get me wrong, there were great detail in the old Battle Sisters, but they were really weird monopose. Like, their hands would be sometimes way too big by way of proportion, simply because the bolter was molded in such a way that they had to fit their thumb around the bottom end of it, and it was too, like, you know, wide for their hand. So it was a weird proportion issue, or they just didn't have any detail. They were really, really flat on the detail. So while metal minis were really good in the fact that they were heavy and they had, you know, good weight to them, and they had good sort of like they had better than average plastic detail, they tended to come with other hidden costs, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't get me wrong, I do miss metal minis. I do. Especially HQs. I wish that they still did them, but did them smart. But I know for a fact that pewter itself is very, very difficult to work with and very expensive, especially considering that there is trace amounts of silver in pewter, and silver prices have skyrocketed since the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. The one thing I will say with when Games Workshop made their move to plastic is the amount of detail they get out of their kits is staggering.
Yeah, especially considering how the plastic kits used to be. Because, I mean, you played in 3rd edition, you would know that the plastic kits back then, they sucked. They did not have good detail on them. But now, holy shit, the detail on the plastic models is amazing.
Yeah, it was one of my my first unit of TOW Fire Warriors. It was the first generation of that kit, and the detail in the plastic is really shallow. And when in the last year or so, I did pick up a TOW Start collecting box to pad out my army a bit, and the increase in detail in the Fire Warrior kit was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's essentially the same sculpt, but I think just comes out a lot better.
Yeah, a lot cleaner. More like little things, little added features. Yeah, kind of like what I'm doing right here. These little spikes on this orc's shoulders. Like those weren't in the original orc kit.
Yeah, it's like the lines in the guns and so on, just a bit deeper, better definition.
I remember when I was working on my guardsmen, someone asked me, when I was showing off my guardsmen, like, man, why are you taking so much time on guardsmen? You got 1.7 billion to paint of them, and then, they're just gonna die so easy on the battlefield. Why do that? And it's like, because I have standards, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I just wish that more of the regiments with Imperial Guard were actually represented anymore.
Yeah, well, it kind of sucks because they still have rules for all of them, just in case you've got your full pewter regiments.
Mm.
But they don't sell those old pewter regiments anymore, which makes me think that they're eventually going to be going through and making them all in plastic. And I've said this before, especially in Dungeon Chat. What I can see them doing, especially since now they've done Death Corps of Krieg in plastic, I can see when they put out a Death Corps of Krieg kit that it will come with added bits to make the Armageddon Steel Legion.
Yeah, sort of like building kits of certain basic body types. So ones with greatcoats, ones with, like the Cadians and so on, and then doing sort of conversion kits for other regiments to use with a given kit.
Mm-hmm. I say I can see
the
them
basic
standardizing a body type and then doing that. Yeah.
Like having a body type that you can use for Valhallans and Vostroyans.
Like, that's one thing that I kept on saying is that I could see if they're going to do something like that with the Death Corps of Krieg, like making an Armageddon Steel Legion, like have Armageddon Steel Legion heads and like maybe legs, because like legs are different for the Steel Legion versus...
Legs is how they get you. There will only be legs in the head.
Well, you know what they could do? The waist to the knee are all the same, but then from the knee down are going to be different. Like the Scions have at the knee is where some of the joints are in. So what they do is they have different feet. So from like the knee down to the foot, we'll have a Death Corps of Krieg, and then the other one will be Armageddon Steel Legion. Because it really comes down to the fact that Armageddon Steel Legion have, knee-high boots, whereas the Death Corps of Krieg have the trench leg wraps and shoes. I mean, it'd be really easy to just, clip off the section from the knee down and just swap the legs. And that way, you put in enough legs to build 10 models, but only 10 models, to build 20 models, sorry. And then all of the,
upper
waist,
leg?
Yeah, upper leg, you only have 10.
Which would work. Different chests for each, or in that case, are they about the same?
The greatcoats are about the same between them. And then different heads, because the Death Corps of Krieg have like the slimmer, some of them have the skull plate over their gas mask, whereas the Steel Legion have a more modern style gas mask.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, I think if I was ever tempted to do Gene Stealer cults, I would definitely plumb the depths of the Necromunda kits for parts, because those have very much the same sort of feel.
Yeah.
As the cults.
Like Goliath would definitely work for things like Aberrants.
Yeah. So you'd sort of take parts from Aberrant kits and bash them together.
I mean, that would definitely work.
The Aberrants. They die too fast for their points cost.
They've got 3 wounds, don't they?
And they're also, I think, 20-30 points per model. Probably more.
I think so too, yeah.
We're talking T4, maybe T5, and not that great a save. Though I do think they have a shrug.
I think so too. But remember, yeah, with the ubiquity of Feel No Pains going away, they may not keep.
They're probably. I can see them keeping it versus mortals and getting like a 3 save, maybe a 2.
Well, you know what I could see? I could see them getting an invulnerable save.
Like a 4 invuln?
Maybe a 5 invuln.
Fair enough.
This is the part I actually kind of hate about painting these guys. Just trying to go through and get all the metal bits. Because there's a lot of like little finicky metal bits, so I've got to use my extremely fine detail brush. Give him a metal chest piece here.
Oh. Time to make use of a bit of sprue goo.
Sprue goo?
Yes. It's plastic cement with a lot of bits of sprue dissolved into it, and you can use it as gap filler.
Oh, okay, it's like liquid green stuff.
Kind of. It's a bit better for filling gaps on plastic models.
Okay.
And when assembling kits, you can basically run it along a join, and you sort of let it set, and then sort of trim with the knife and file down the surface, and then you've got a nice flat surface where there would be a join line.
Okay. I may do something like that when I get my next buggies, because there are some join areas on the buggies that is really hard to get, like, looking right, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, it's comes out like this.
Okay.
Like a really runny plastic.
Okay.
And I have actually tried casting it into molds and stuff, but it doesn't work.
Okay. I say what I use for like push fit molds is just milliput, which is essentially just green stuff. It's cheaper green stuff.
It's not quite as flexible as green stuff, but each has their own use.
Yeah, it comes out a little brittle. It's like resin. So long as you're not making a whole goddamn model out of it, it should be fine.
Yeah. There's the next acquisition I want to make. A 3D printer.
Oh,
just
that'd be great.
Just a cheap one. Now that I have a computer.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean is like a $200-300 resin one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on my list of stuff that I would really like to get hold of.
Same. My whole problem though is that right now I'm living in an apartment, and I'm not sure the neighbors would appreciate the resin stink. So I would need to get an actual foam and
Yeah. That would make even getting a 3D printer here a bad thing. I don't think they're even allowed. At least the resin ones. Filament ones, I wouldn't see a problem, but
yeah,
I've heard they have their own problems.
They can. I'll say the major one I keep on bringing up is when people sit there and say, like, you know, Games Workshop's over, man. You know, 3D printers will end Games Workshop. And then I always post the video, 3D printers, and it shows one of the filament printers. It's like starting with a model. It starts printing it up, you know, and it's printing 2 legs, and they meet together for the pelvis, and then both legs fall apart, and the filament just goes all over the place.
Yep. Though resin printers are getting clunked.
Oh yeah, resin printer. Well, the Volkite Caliverns I showed you guys before the stream began, that's resin 3D printer. So those are resin, which is fine because the rest of the Contemptor is resin.
I think 3D printers, it's great to augment your modelling to sort of do bits and pieces, but I'm not sure how I'd feel about sort of basically wholesale ripping off models.
Yeah, I say it's one thing to, you know, get bits that you need, or even like out of print things, because you know, when my buddy got me the Contemptor, they were in the process of reorganizing everything on the Forge World site, so I couldn't have even bought the Plasma Calivern arms if I wanted to. So that's the reason why I asked my buddy, you know, who had the 3D printer. I'm like, hey, weird question. Do you think you can print me some plasma or some Volkite Caliverns? And he goes, oh yeah, man, I got you. But yeah, so like, if those sorts of circumstances are a thing, yeah, fine, go for it. But you know, if you're gonna try and make a whole army out of your 3D printer, you got better uses for your time, man.
Yeah. All right, the light
time, energy, material.
Yeah.
Then there's all the inevitable failures.
Oh yeah. How many times a bit will break? You know, all sorts of shit like that.
Or someone opens the door to your print room, shutting in a ton of UV light, freezing the entire basin.
Well, that's the reason why you whenever you're 3D printing something, you gotta put a note on the door, or like, you know, yeah, you know how back in the college days you hang a
camera
sock
rooms. Yep.
Well, you hang a sock on the door because, you know, to let your dorm mate know that you've got an amorous relationship going on in there. You do that, but it's letting your housemates know that you're 3D printing something.
Mm-hmm. A lock works just as well.
That's true.
This is coming out quite good, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I were to get a 3D printer, the worst I would do is grab STLs to convert a Questoris kit into a Styrex. You know, do my own effective cheeky breakies.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, I would want to do something like that one guy I've been retweeting on Twitter. He found an STL of a statue of Inquisitor Eisenhorn that stands a foot tall, and it looks so fucking cool. Oh my god. I would get that STL and I would print that shit up like immediately, and I would paint the crap out of it.
I just had an amusing thought talking about STLs is if you think about in 40k how they the Imperium are looking for what they STMs, the standard template
STCs.
STCs, yeah. That is very much like those.
Yep. Looking for your standard template constructions.
Yeah. What they're actually finding are the leftovers of 3D printing geeks. than their files.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Yes, the blueprints for the STCs. Bear in mind, the STC is also a manufacturer, so it's the printer too.
Yeah.
Though, typically all the AdMech really need is the blueprint.
Yeah. I'll say that's one of the things that the AdMech has some real consternation with the Blood Angels right now, is the fact that the Blood Angels have an STC that they are hoarding entirely to themselves because they don't trust the AdMech. It's for a new engine for the Rhino class chassis. It's called the Lucifer class engine. And the AdMech are not happy with the Blood Angels, and the Blood Angels are saying, that's fine, we don't trust you.
Titan Legion says otherwise? No, that is a huge thing to do.
And Commander Dante sits there and goes, who's the Lord Regent of the Imperium Nihilus, bitch?
That too. I think the only reason the AdMech haven't done it is Gilliman would just tear up the Treaty of Olympus mods and say, no, you're now an enemy empire.
Yeah. Well, that and Belisarius Call is kind of in debt to Gilliman.
Well, he's a big name in the on Mars, but he's not the Fabricator General yet.
I don't think there is a current Fabricator General. Because if anyone would be the Fabricator General in current 40k, it would be Belisarius Call.
In which case, the Archmaguses of Mars are arguing who should succeed the previous one, who probably died some time ago.
I remember Belisarius Call has been around since 30k.
Yes. Back when he was just a little thumb twiddler.
Yes. And didn't have 3 brains in his chassis.
But nowadays, the goddamn Mary Sue is one step away from controlling the second most powerful empire in the galaxy. The Empire of the Machine Cult.
I think with what you're saying about a possible end time scenario with 40k, I think that would probably wind up, if they did it, coming in the form of a second heresy.
Well, if a second heresy is going to happen, it's going to be Gilliman, because he's got delusions of grandeur major right now. Because like he had a crisis of faith after he got injected with the God Killer virus from Mortarion, where his flesh literally melted off of his body to his blackened bones, but yet Gilliman revived. And the reason
I thought Gilliman wasn't overly infused with his new mantle.
Well, the big thing about it is that with all of this stuff that has happened here recently, and the presence of the living saint when he was revived, he's beginning to second guess the whole Imperial Truth thing. And
right.
If the Emperor...
He's going Lorgar, kill him.
Well, if the Emperor can become a god, why can't he?
Again, he's going Lorgar, kill him.
So, yeah.
Well, I have to say, I do quite like that Call has been raiding the stores of Traitor Legion Gene Seeds.
Totally not traitor, guys. The Sons of the Phoenix are totally a successor of Dorn. And totally not fucking the Emperor's children.
I mean, there's so many of the... well, not just the Ultima Founding, but some of the older ones are just so clearly from traitor stock. I mean, you got the Minotaurs for one, the Carcharodons. The good old space sharks are most likely from, I think it's well,
I'd call them Night Lords if they were from a traitor.
Yes, that's it. I was trying to remember the name of it. The spooky vampire traitor guys.
Vampire. Now, what part of being flayed alive is vampiric?
Yeah, true.
And when I say being flayed alive, I mean you're able to stay alive and then hoist upon a pole and march towards the rest of your forces.
There is that.
The Night Lords were well known for having an overactive omniphagia, just like the Blood Angels.
Fair enough. I was still just describing probably how the Night Lords go to war. Capture some scout, flay him, and use him as a standard.
So, question about the Blood Angels is, do they sparkle in the daylight?
Wrong type of vampire.
Well, I keep on going back to the fact that I absolutely loved what their legion was called before they found Sanguinius.
What was it?
The Eaters of the Dead. They were known to be such psychotic murderers on the battlefield. Like they would go absolutely insane, just like rip apart their enemies and then eat their bodies after they'd killed them.
Oh god!
Especially during the pacification of Terra. So much so that the Custodes, when they were named the Eaters of the Dead, declined to give them any significant weaponry because they wouldn't even use the weapons properly. They would, instead of giving them, Volkite guns and using the death rays on their opponents, they would just beat them to death with the gun. So they didn't give them any weapons. They would just say, go, kill the enemy, and then just kind of turn away. So yes, no, when people talk about how the Black Rage is this whole new thing, no, it's not. It's been in the Blood Angels since their inception. Come on.
Yeah, I wonder how Lorgar took it when the Imperium went exactly how he predicted it would. Well, and all of a sudden they're all like worshipping the Emperor as a deity, and
using the book he wrote as the Bible.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the Lectitio Divinitatis. He wrote it.
Yeah, and he's the original worshipper of the Emperor as a god, and he got castigated for it, and now they're all doing it.
It's funny too because Guilliman has a copy of the original Lectitio Divinitatis, but he never read it, simply because Lorgar wrote it, so he didn't want to fucking read it. But now that the Imperium, has become a religious state, he started to read it.
What's going to happen next? He's going to be singing praises to the Emperor?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? It's funny, the Custodians are under no obligation to let him see the Emperor, but they did when Guilliman first came back. And, of course, just like with the founding saints of the Sisterhood, no one knows precisely what actually happened in the room. But afterwards, Guilliman came out and handed down the edicts to the High Lords of Terra, so...
Well, he can hardly do worse than Goj Van Dyer.
True. Although I would sincerely expect that Saint Celestine be the first among any of the followers to have that sword ready to fall on his neck should he get as insane as Vendar.
Yeah. Oh, that was another good short from Adeptus Ridiculous, the Doge Vandaya thing.
Oh, God. Do I even want to know?
Oh, you've got to look it up. It's so funny.
Well, it's a running joke with them.
Yeah, they even got a model of Doge Vandaya on his throne to use as a placeholder for other sisters models.
Mainly for missionaries, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is this like how they keep on picking on Sandrick?
Kind of. He's definitely one of their running jokes.
And both of you would be able to tell me, is Sandrick really thinking he's flesh and blood again?
Yes.
I do not know.
Yes, he does. He doesn't think that he has gone biotransference. Yes, he is insane.
What? Oh, that is actually canon.
Yes. and Oberon, his minder, has to keep doing all of the shit for him. In fact, actually, Oberon has to keep doing things like setting up taste testing for him because he thinks that people are still trying to poison him. Like it's possible.
Yeah.
For God's sakes!
Yeah,
These rebels have painted their faces green and they're screaming "Wog" at me. This tactic will not work.
I love it too because he's like totally old British and how he acts. It's so funny. He's one of my favorite Necron characters. He really is.
I have to say, Infinite and the Divine has really got me liking Trazyn a lot.
I have a grudge against Trazyn.
Like, that book was written so well, and the way Trazyn and Orokin play off each other is just magnificent. Always trying to one-up each other.
Shit. Now oh god, where is it? Where's my tin bits? Nope. Fuck. Is that it? No. Shit! You know, I bet it's...
What, you lost?
I bet it's down in my case here. I'm trying to paint the ammo belt on this orc's shoulder.
Alright.
I'm thinking we'll probably end the stream here soon. Just gonna finish up this one boy, and then we'll probably call it.
Yeah. I can probably do with getting to bed soon.
Yeah, I gotta get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so...
Yeah, well, funny you should say that. It's nearly 4 in the morning here.
Oh, no. Well, I can see why it's a little difficult to get some of the British people on Minions of the Zoo.
I'll definitely be up for coming on more often.
Oh, that's cool. It was nice talking to you and everything. Like I said, I think it's the first time that you actually had a full-on Minions interaction.
Yeah, a proper Minions debut.
There you go. That's my old tin bits. God.
Yeah. I have been really enjoying it tonight.
That's good. That's good. I'm saying, yeah, this is like I said, a fairly sort of new thing. You got a whole new setup. You got everything for a tandem painting session. So anyone who paints minis or anything like that wants to do something on camera, you know, it's perfectly fine. Just let me know and we can set it up. And this is kind of a play test, and I'm glad it worked. It's really kind of a cool thing to run down like this. So I'm glad it worked out well. But yeah, fuck, where the hell is?
Once I've got all the bits for kit bashing a Primaris Asriel, I'll do that on stream.
There you go. There you go. Oh, speaking of, I got my skeleton horde. It's for all my my terrain that I'm painting.
Yeah, I've actually got a dropper bottle of my watered down skeleton horde for my Deathwing armor in a dropper bottle.
And I say that's the one thing I don't have, because I keep everything in I mainly just buy Citadel paints. But I do have like a couple of others. But I'm thinking about picking up some other stuff so that I can make the painting a little easier on myself for like really big projects like my Wasbomb.
Yeah, putting them in dropper bottles does help a lot, and I use a wet palette as well. So that really does help the lifespan of the paint really well.
Yeah. I say I've got a ghetto sort of wet palette. I haven't used it very often, mainly because I don't get a whole lot of time to sit down and paint, and I'm really used to figuring out exactly how much paint I need by doing the paint pot dipping method, because that's how I started, you know, and I can get the right consistency that I want and thin it down properly and everything that I need to straight out of the bottle, you know, out of the paint pot. So I don't know, it would be like learning a whole new way to walk to get a wet palette and dropper bottles. So that's why I haven't really, you know, dove deep into it. So maybe it's just me. It's just. Fucking tennis gold. Next.
I think I can put this Piranha on its face now.
It's all blood-lettered glaze. I can't believe it. I still have. Wow. I still have a blood-lettered glaze paint pot.
Functioning.
Oh yeah, it's still wet. Let's see. Let's see if this 10 bits is because this is an actual 10 bits, not the whatever they're calling the new one. Oh yeah, it's still wet. I can still use it.
Yeah. Oh, that looks good.
So I'm using the 10 bits for the actual bullet section of the bullet belt.
Yeah, quiz. What with the?
Oh hell yeah! Look at that. I like the angle it's pitched at. That looks really cool. It looks dynamic and stuff.
That was the goal.
Looks really good.
It's missing the attack.
It's missing the what? Got to do some touch-ups. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. They were frozen for a minute there.
Yeah. I'm guessing the machine spirit became a little rebellious.
That's fine. I just had to, administer the ritualistic blow to the side of the casing.
Yep.
Manual override.
Well, actually, deactivation and reactivation. Yeah, it's just me, but the skimmers do look a little bit weird without the drones attached.
Yeah. The drones are coming along.
And yes, that does add to their armament, giving them 4 pulse carbines in addition to their main armament.
Yes. And at any point, the drones can detach and form their own unit.
Yeah, when the drones are on the piranhas, I can't remember, do they use the ballistic skill
I believe
of
so.
pilots?
Yes. I believe whenever the drones are attached to any vehicle, it uses the vehicle's ballistic skill. So the drones would hit on a 4+ rather than a 5.
Because I believe the exact wording is, well attached, the weapons of the drone count as weapons of the model.
But the drones cannot use savior protocols.
Because they're also treated as embarked upon the model.
Yes. Which kind of sucks, but I mean,
hey,
it's extra shots.
It's been so long since I've actually really properly played. It's just rusty.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
And if current trends actually hold, it's going to be even more shots.
I don't get to play as often as I'd like to, but yeah, I get it. I get it.
Oh, I was happy enough to play today.
Play 40K?
Not table. Virtual.
Oh,
nice.
Tabletop simulator.
Yeah. The 40K Discord I'm on has about 6,000 people. Has a dedicated tabletop sim section.
Nice.
Which Discord is that?
Let me find the perma link. Is that what you're after?
Yeah, well, I'm in a few myself. I was just wondering if it was one of those.
I think we're good for this boy.
That is the top.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that's the top half of those drones done.
This Discord fashions itself as the largest fan-created Discord server. It's not official, but it's a pretty big server.
Oh, nice.
That's the last thing I'll do on this one. I'll paint the orc skull here on the slugga red. So that the bullets go faster.
I put the permit invite in Dungeon Chat if you need it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you.
Alright. Well, I think it's about time we close the zoo down for tonight. And that way we can all get some more painting done tomorrow, right?
Yep. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming. Yeah, if you ever want to do this again, just let me know. We can set it up. And it's not that difficult to set up a tandem paint stream or anything like that. You know, I'm constantly going to be working on my orcs here until they're all done, and then I'm going to be working on my Imperial Guard, then my roommate's Thousand Sons, then my Blood Angels, then my roommate's Black Legion, then blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, 10 armies to paint. So yeah, I'll be painting for a very long time, guys. So thank you all for coming out. We've been your Minions of the Zoo. Be sure to watch tomorrow where Skep Tock is the host. And yeah, hope you had fun watching paint dry, and the zoo's closed. Take care, everyone.